Imagine a place where simply crossing the street, boarding a train, or even breathing the outdoor air can become a challenge. In Pakistan, cities can sometimes disappear beneath a thick layer of polluted smog, while trains become so crowded that some passengers cling to the outside just to continue their journey. But beyond the chaos, there are slap-fighting contests that draw large crowds, people who keep lions as symbols of status, and mountain ranges considered among the most dangerous in the world. Deep in the northern mountains, isolated communities still survive with customs that are completely different from those followed across much of the country. Subscribe to the channel and hit like if you want to keep discovering places that are rarely seen from this perspective. And before we begin, leave a comment below. If you had to rate Pakistan right now, what score would you give it? Remember that number, because by the end of this video, your answer may have changed. Number 9. Pakistan, a country born from partition. Amid the harsh lands of South Asia, Pakistan sits between Afghanistan, India, Iran, and China, while also facing the Arabian Sea. It is a place where history, tension, and sharp contrasts all come together. With an area of more than 340,000 square miles and a population of over 240 million people, Pakistan ranks among the most populous countries in the world. If the United States had a similar population density, its population would rise to more than 1 billion people. But Pakistan is not just a set of numbers. In only a few hours, the landscape can shift from fertile valleys along the Ganges to dry deserts, then climb into some of the most dangerous mountain ranges on Earth. Hidden within those regions are communities that have lived in isolation for centuries, preserving customs, beliefs, and ways of life that are very different from the rest of the country. The country's modern history began on August 14, 1947, during the partition of the Indian subcontinent. Millions of people were forced to leave their homes, roads and trains were packed with migrants, and violence spread across the region. More than 1 million people are believed to have died, and over 15 million were displaced in a short period of time. In the early years, Pakistan was still made up of two territories in the east and the west, separated by more than 600 miles, with India in between. East Pakistan increasingly felt left behind. Then, in 1970, the Bhola cyclone devastated the region, destroying villages and crops and killing an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people. The slow response from the government deepened anger and division, eventually leading to war and the birth of Bangladesh. Today, the pressure from rapid population growth, harsh geography, and uneven development is still visible in everyday life across Pakistan. Before going deeper, rate this country from 1 to 10 and remember that number, because what comes next may change your mind. Right in the middle of a place where millions of people struggle to survive, there are still symbols of power that feel completely contradictory, including wild animals kept inside private mansions. That is when you begin to understand that Pakistan is not only a land of contrasts, but also a land of extremes. Number 8. Karachi, a city living under pressure. Pressure does not exist only in Pakistan's history. It is present in everyday life, especially in Karachi. This is one of the largest cities in the world, where millions of people are packed together amid noise, limited space, and a constant sense of overload. On the crowded streets, many neighborhoods have grown faster than the city's ability to plan for them, and many families must share homes so small that privacy becomes a luxury. The city keeps expanding, yet hospitals, schools, electricity, and water systems are often forced to operate beyond what they can properly handle. Every morning, millions of people step out into the streets, and simply getting around is already a challenge. Cars, motorcycles, buses, and pedestrians all compete for every open space, Horns sound without pause, and the heat rising from the roads and buildings can make even a short trip exhausting. On public transportation, the situation becomes even more intense. Trains are packed with people. Passengers fill the aisles, cling to the doors, and sometimes even climb onto the roofs of the cars. For many, this is not a choice they want to make, but the only way to keep going to work and make it back home. That fast-moving rhythm also appears in the way people eat. Street food stalls serve customers non-stop. Food is prepared quickly. Utensils may be reused many times, and speed is often placed ahead of strict control. Because of that, scenes that seem unbelievable to outsiders can become completely normal here. If you remember the beginning of the video, there was one strange detail sitting on a plate of food. Where did it come from? We will come back to that later, but before the answer appears, try to guess and leave your thoughts in the comments. Life in Karachi often leaves very little room to slow down. People work, move, and eat inside a non-stop cycle. But urban chaos is only one side of Pakistan. In other regions, there are still fighting contests that attract crowds of spectators, where participants take heavy blows until one side can no longer continue. And that is only one of many traditions we are about to explore. Number 7. K2, one of the most dangerous mountains in the world. In the north, Pakistan enters a completely different world, where harsh terrain forces people to adapt if they want to survive. This is where three great mountain ranges meet: the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush. These enormous walls of rock do not only create dramatic landscapes, they have also kept many valleys isolated from the rest of the world for centuries. Among those mountains, glaciers take shape and provide water for major rivers, while many communities have been able to preserve their own cultures because of their almost complete geographic isolation. The most famous of all is K2, the second highest mountain in the world, rising more than 28,000 feet into the sky. But what makes K2 so famous is not only its height. Its slopes are extremely steep, its climbing routes demand advanced technical skill, the weather can change within minutes, and avalanches are a constant threat. During some of the most dangerous periods, roughly 1 out of every 4 people who attempted to reach the summit did not return. At elevations above 26,000 feet, the extreme cold and the thin oxygen levels mean that even a very small mistake can lead to serious consequences. Many expeditions have failed here, and for those who truly understand K2, this is not simply a test of strength, but a place where the limits of human endurance are pushed to the highest level. But another symbol of this mountain region is the Karakoram Highway, the road that links Pakistan with China and reaches nearly 16,000 feet above sea level in some sections. The highway runs along sheer cliffs, narrow bends, and areas where landslides happen often. In some places, there is almost no safe distance between the road and the deep drop below time. The construction of this route began in the late 1950s, under extremely dangerous conditions, and many workers lost their lives because of accidents, avalanches, and the unforgiving terrain. Today, the Karakoram Highway does more than connect Pakistan with China. It also opens a path to valleys that had been almost cut off from the world for many centuries. Number 6. Kalash, a small community among isolated valleys. Deep in the Hindu Kush, among valleys that were once almost completely cut off from the outside world, the Kalash people have survived for centuries, with a culture that is very different from the rest of Pakistan. Long-term isolation has allowed this community of only a few thousand people to preserve many customs, beliefs, ways of organizing daily life, and traditions inherited from their ancestors. Time. The first thing that often draws attention is their appearance. In a country where South Asian features are dominant, some Kalash people have lighter skin, light-colored hair, and blue or green eyes. These differences once led to various theories connecting them to communities in Europe and even to the Vikings. But what makes them even more distinctive is the way they live. The Kalash do not follow Islam like most of Pakistan's population. Instead, they maintain a belief system connected to nature, spirits, and ancestors. Their festivals often include music, dancing, rituals, and traditional symbols that have been passed down through many generations. Only in more recent times has access to these valleys become easier than it was before. Within the community, Kalash women also have a more visible role than women in many other parts of the country. They take part in social activities, have a voice in family and community decisions, and enjoy greater freedom when choosing a marriage partner. These differences make the Kalash valleys feel like a separate world hidden within the mountains of Pakistan. For many centuries, the rugged terrain made entering or leaving this region extremely difficult, and that distance helped many traditions continue to survive time. But today, that isolation is gradually disappearing. Transportation has become easier, more young people are leaving their homeland, and outside influence is becoming increasingly noticeable. The Kalash population is already small and continues to face pressure from migration and cultural change. A community that once survived because of isolation now faces a completely different question. Can customs preserved for generations continue to survive in a world that is becoming more connected every day? Number 5. Lions and controversial traditions. One of the events that draws attention in some parts of Pakistan is slap fighting, where two people stand face to face and take turns striking each other with an open hand until one side can no longer continue. The slaps are often extremely powerful, strong enough to make participants lose their balance or fall to the ground. For outsiders, the scene can be difficult to understand, but within the communities where these contests take place, winning can bring respect, recognition, and social status. If you were standing beside one of these matches, would you dare to step forward and try it yourself? But beyond these contests lies an even more controversial symbol of status. In some places, wealthy individuals raise lions from a young age on private property and treat them as a way to display power, wealth, and influence. The contrast becomes striking when millions of people in the same country are still struggling to meet basic needs, while others live beside dangerous predators as symbols of their position. Even when raised from a young age, lions remain wild animals. A single loud noise, an unexpected movement, or a poorly timed reaction can trigger their instincts. There have been documented cases in which lions kept in domestic environments attacked people after situations moved beyond their owner's control. Some owners claim that the animals have been trained, but training can never completely remove a predator's natural instincts. Some lions are kept in confined spaces, chained, restrained, or sedated when necessary to keep them calm. They are even taken in vehicles and displayed at social gatherings as part of an image of wealth. These scenes do not show complete control. Instead, they reveal just how fragile the line between safety and danger can be. In Pakistan, the gap between people struggling to earn enough to survive and those who keep predators as symbols of power creates one of the country's most difficult contrasts to ignore. And from here, the story moves toward a different reality. It is no longer about how people display status, but about how millions of workers labor every day simply to keep going. And if you're still watching at this point, a single click on subscribe already helps the channel a great deal. It is the simplest way to support us as we continue investing in journeys like this. As for us, we will keep working to make every new video worth coming back for. Number 4. Gadani, ship graveyard and dangerous jobs. For millions of people in Pakistan, work is not a choice, but the only way to keep life going. A workday can begin before sunrise and end only after dark, while breaks are limited, wages are low, and stability is almost non-existent. Many people live from one day to the next, knowing that their bodies are the most important tools they have to earn a living. In the textile industry, one of Pakistan's largest sectors, this reality becomes even clearer. Behind the enormous amount of clothing produced for international markets are many small workshops where workers spend long hours surrounded by heat, loud machinery, and cramped spaces. They sew, process fabric, or handle chemical dyes with limited protective equipment. For many workers, missing even a single day can significantly reduce the money they are able to bring home to their families. Enclosed workspaces, poor ventilation, and long-term exposure to chemicals can have serious effects on health. But for many people, these jobs remain one of the few opportunities to earn an income that they cannot easily give up. Along the coast, working conditions become even harsher at Gadani, home to one of the largest ship-breaking yards in the world. Massive oil tankers and cargo ships are brought onto the shore and dismantled piece by piece, with much of the work relying on human labor rather than modern machinery. The work takes place directly on enormous metal vessels that once crossed the oceans and have now become a source of income for thousands of workers. On these towering ships, workers cut through steel, move heavy components, and navigate structures filled with hazards. They may breathe toxic fumes, come into contact with dangerous materials, and work with very limited protection. Many of these workers come from rural areas hoping to find a more stable source of income. In return, they enter an environment where their bodies can wear down quickly. Accidents can happen at any moment, and the long-term effects on their health may not appear until many years later. In a place where stopping work can mean losing income, workers are forced to keep going even as the price they pay becomes increasingly clear. Number 3. Truck art. Pakistan's rolling works of art. Along the hot, dust-covered roads of Pakistan, a truck can suddenly appear like a burst of color, completely out of place against the gray surroundings. The cab, cargo body, front bumper, and even the underside are covered with vivid colors, patterns, paintings, and shining metal decorations. For Pakistanis, these are not simply vehicles used to carry goods. They are part of a truck art culture that has been passed down through generations. What is surprising is how much money drivers are willing to spend on their trucks. In a country where many people still live on very low incomes, some drivers spend anywhere from $3,000 to more than $10,000 just on decoration. They may save for years, borrow money, or devote a large share of what they earn to transforming the cab into a work of art that reflects their own identity. Time. 3s. Almost every truck looks different from the next. Some are covered in fluorescent paint, others are fitted with embossed metal panels, while wooden sections are hand-carved with flowers, birds, and traditional patterns. The sides of the trucks may also feature portraits of famous people, landscapes from the driver's hometown, lines of poetry, or prayers for a safe journey. Many drivers choose colors and images connected to personal memories, their homeland, or their beliefs, giving each truck a highly individual character. When these massive vehicles, weighing tens of thousands of pounds, begin to move, hundreds of small bells hanging underneath shake with every pothole and curve. That constant jingling sound is why many Western travelers call them jingle trucks. Time. 3s. On long-distance routes, including dangerous mountain roads such as the Karakoram highway, the truck can become the place where a driver spends most of the day. For that reason, it is not only a tool for earning money, but also something like a second home and a way to express who they are. Amid a life filled with hardship, truck art transforms rough working vehicles into moving works of art. The colors, images, and sounds on every truck feel like a personal statement from the driver. No matter how dusty or difficult the road ahead may be, they still want to travel through it in the most colorful way possible. Number 2. Khewra Salt Mine, a pink wonder beneath the ground. Hidden beneath the dry hills of Punjab lies the Khewra Salt Mine, a vast pink-colored maze, considered the second largest salt mine in the world. It does not feel like an ordinary mining site, but more like another world buried deep underground, where walls of salt stretch endlessly through dim light. The story of Khewra is often traced back to 326 BC, when the army of Alexander the Great stopped in this region. According to the story, exhausted horses began licking the rocks, leading people to discover the enormous salt deposits hidden inside the hills. This area later became a major source of the famous Himalayan pink salt, formed from ancient mineral layers that have existed for hundreds of millions of years. As you move deeper into the mine, sunlight disappears, and the view is replaced by crystal walls, glowing in shades of pink, orange, and white. The tunnel system inside extends for hundreds of miles, creating a winding network far beneath the surface. There is no sunlight and no view of the dry landscape outside, only layer after layer of crystal stretching through the silence. Inside Khewra, Pakistanis have also created several structures using blocks of salt taken directly from the mine. There are glowing mosques, architectural models inspired by Badshahi, and bridges crossing saltwater pools hidden deep underground. The still water reflects light from the crystals, making the entire area look like a small city concealed inside the mountain. Light passing through the salt changes the color of the walls and creates a scene that feels unlike almost anywhere above ground. Within this unusual environment, many people also believe the air inside the mine can benefit the respiratory system, and it is often mentioned as a form of natural therapy. For visitors, Khewra is not only a place to see pink salt, but also a chance to enter a space formed in the distant geological past, beneath the hills of Punjab. It is also a journey into Earth's history, where nature, legend, and human craftsmanship come together to create one of Pakistan's most unusual destinations. Number 1. Sialkot, the world capital of hand-stitched soccer balls. Few people realize that before soccer balls reach the feet of stars at the World Cup, their journey may have begun inside small workshops in Sialkot, northeastern Pakistan. Pakistan's national team has never appeared at the World Cup, yet the city of Sialkot holds a special place in the global soccer ball industry. Considered one of the world's largest centers for soccer ball production, Sialkot produces around 70% of all hand-stitched soccer balls worldwide. From small neighborhood fields to the biggest stadiums on Earth, countless balls have begun their journey in the hands of workers from this city, from 3s. Inside the streets and production workshops, more than 60,000 people are involved in an industry that has existed for over a century. Men, women, and highly experienced craftspeople spend hours working with layers of material, joining each panel with strong, evenly spaced stitches. A traditional ball, made from 32 panels, can require as many as 690 hand stitches, demanding precision and skills passed down from one generation to the next. What makes this work remarkable is that it depends on much more than speed. Workers must carefully control the tension of the thread, the shape of each panel, and the overall balance of the ball so the finished product has the durability it needs. This craftsmanship has helped Sialkot build its reputation over many decades. From famous ball designs that have appeared at World Cups, including Brazuca, Telstar 18, and Al Rihla, Sialkot has quietly remained connected to international soccer, even though most fans never know the story behind where these balls came from. For local people, these balls are more than export products. They represent jobs, income, and pride for a city that has transformed traditional craftsmanship into a reputation recognized around the world. In a country that still faces many challenges, Sialkot has created something very different. Soccer balls that leave small workshops and go on to roll across the greatest fields on the planet. Every stitch completed here helps carry the name of this city to soccer fans around the world. Pakistan is not easy to capture in a single image. In some places, people crowd through streets filled with heat, noise, and polluted air. In others, towering mountains leave communities almost completely separated from the rest of the world, while some groups have preserved their own ways of life for generations. Time threes with you. What stays with you is not only the chaos, poverty, or unusual traditions, but also the way millions of people continue adapting to a country that constantly places new challenges in front of them. Now go back to the question from the beginning of the video. Are you still giving Pakistan the same score, or has your opinion changed? Leave your number in the comments. Tell us which detail impressed you the most. And if you want to keep exploring countries from a more realistic perspective like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.